Hi guys, so Sarah Pochin, the Reform UK MP, someone who isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, spoke to the Concrete Farmer about something that has, for some strange reason, only exploded as a story this week. Sarah never seemed to have brought it up when she was a Conservative, but Reform UK need another bandwagon. So what is it? Well, asylum seekers working as delivery riders. Yes, but while the narrative is usually that they shouldn't be working because they're getting everything for free, Sarah adds a point which he presents as yet another insult to injury. Have a listen.
I mean, everybody kind of knew that there was a suspicion that some of these characters working for these delivery companies were illegals and they were working on the black market. But the extent of it seems to be that almost all of them are.
Look, you know, this is so out of control. So the government has lost control of them coming in. It's now lost control of the labour market. And let's not forget that whilst these illegal immigrants are working for these delivery companies and putting the hours in, earning a lot of money, at the same time, we, you and me, the British taxpayer, are giving them free accommodation, free mobile phones, free driving lessons. It doesn't matter what you ask about, they get it for free. Whereas we have to pay for all of that. So they're getting a win-win here. They are getting paid by the Deliveroo. They're taking, or whoever the company might be, I shouldn't just say that, but they are taking our money to house them, so they have no expenses. But also, Mike, they're taking jobs from British people.
Yeah. We got there in the end. They're coming to take our jobs. They're taking our jobs. Would Sarah like to work in this field? No, she wouldn't. And many British people don't want to do these jobs. Now, they pay about £10 an hour, it seems, but there's also expenses that have to be taken off that, like insurance and that. But many British people don't want to do these jobs. But that's not really the issue here. The issue is that the contracts that people have with Deliveroo or Uber Eats or whatever is being subcontracted or outsourced to somebody else. And in many cases, it's the asylum seekers, because the asylum seekers generally, there may be some exceptions, but generally they're not allowed to work for these companies. They're not allowed to work at all, but obviously that means that they can't work for these delivery companies because it's against the rules of their asylum claim. So instead, what they're doing is they're going to somebody who already has a contract with the delivery company and saying, look, I'll work for you. And of course, they don't get the full pay. Sarah was saying that they earn lots of money. I don't think that's really the case. Because somebody's making money. It's probably the person who's sitting on their sofa who has watching TV while having a contract and outsourcing it to somebody else. So there's a solution here. And what do you think the solution is? It's obvious. Allow the asylum seekers to work legally, because they would prefer to be earning more money. They would prefer to work legally where they have some protections, because at the moment they have little or no protections, because they're working in the black economy. I don't know the protections that are in place for people who do these delivery runs anyway, but it's more than what the asylum seekers have. So if something happens to an asylum seeker, they're on their own. And it could breach the conditions of their asylum claim, which could put them in serious trouble as well. So they don't want to be sitting around doing nothing. She talked here about a burden on the state. The solution, once again, is to allow them to work. Then you don't have to pay for hotels and mobile phones and accommodation and food and all this stuff. Allow them to work and they can pay their way. Allow them to work and they can have a decent contract with these delivery companies if that's what they want to do. The solution from Reform and others is just to be angry. That's it. Our solution is we're angry with asylum seekers. And not angry so much with the companies, where the companies are not enforcing the rules correctly, because the companies don't really care, because they're getting the work done. If the work is getting done, they're washing their hands of the situation in most cases. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.